How about the collectors? You said that you buy product from collectors here. Was that a trying situation? Are there plenty of those? Is that easy enough to get?
It's not too difficult. It's not too difficult. I mean, and even there, I mean, you need to find the right partner, which we think we did find, because one of the things that we ask the collectors is to, yes, collect, but also sort. So when you are a collector, you collect any kind of carpet. I mean, you cannot really be difficult in what you want and what you don't want. So you collect nylon 6, nylon 6/6, you collect polypropylene, you collect any kind of polyester. So what we ask them to do is to, yes, collect, but then sort. And sorting is very critical, making sure that we get the nylon 6 feed and not mixed up with 6/6 or polyester, because obviously for our purpose, I mean, it's extremely important that the purity, nylon 6 is like a contaminant. Nylon 6/6 will be a contaminant versus nylon 6, so PET will be a contaminant. So, yeah, there is definitely, there are several who do this, and we feel like we have identified a few which are really good in doing what they're doing, and they work with us in a very proficient way in order to make sure that the sorting part is also well done.
Now, I've only been in one of these collection recycling operations once, but it seemed like a pretty inefficient situation. I mean, the product is awful dirty, it's a mess, it's wadded up and rolled up. It would seem like it's awfully difficult to process.
It's not easy. It's
Yeah.
definitely not easy. I mean, it's garbage. At the end of the day, it's what people consider to be garbage. So it's not a very clean and nice looking operation. What we are trying to do, we are trying to make it as efficient as possible. Yeah, definitely there is room for improvement in efficiency, but the big challenge is if you deal with a non-specified raw material, you cannot really specify the way you want it. I mean, if there's any kind of thing, so you have to deal with a large variety of shape and size and pile height, and that is what is the most difficult thing to automatize, as the variability is so large in your raw material. You cannot say that I only want square and 3 by 3. I mean,
you get whatever
you get whatever you get. So yeah, so it's a big challenge. I mean, it's a big challenge. We understand it's a big challenge, but nevertheless, I mean, Aquafil is committed to keep investing in a recycling operation. We would like to be able to grow our ability to make nylon from non-virgin material up to 100% eventually. And so the economics are hard, definitely, to justify right now, but we see that we are improving, we're moving toward the right direction, and it just requires a strong level of commitment that, yes, you want to do it just because you think it's the right thing to do. I mean, and then you do it.
And you're gaining efficiencies. I mean,
we're gaining efficiency, so we're definitely moving in the right direction. We're gaining efficiency, and the marketplace has been very, very receptive about the product that we manufacture through this system. At this time, we have to say, as the availability is limited, we have limited ourselves to the carpet industry, almost. But there is an enormous demand, or potential demand, I have to say, coming from the apparel and garment and sportswear industry. As you probably know, Aquafil has a textile fiber operation, which is limited to Europe at this point, where we manufacture fibers, yarn, and this yarn are used, to make sportswear, to make underwear, to make swimwear, a number of articles. And the brand names which then market those products are extremely interested and sensible to the ECONYL message. But at this point, I mean, as much as we wish and we would like to make that product free and available for all of those big brand names, we did not do it because there's definitely, still we are under volume constraints. So we don't want to discontent our traditional carpet customers because we may risk to run out of material if we started to supply some big brand names outside the carpet industry.
You see, eventually you may be able to do that?
Well, that's definitely something that we want to do. I mean, it's our goal. It's our goal, and little by little, step by step.
Do you see the depolymerization ever taking place here in the U.S., in Cartersville?
I mean, I have a long list of dreams. I mean, I have my bucket list, right? That's definitely part of my bucket list.
And that's one of them, huh?
Well, that's one of them, but I don't see that as imminent. But I would say never. I mean, definitely at one point the economics will justify it, I believe. We need to get better definitely here in the States. I mean, carpet needs to be our main raw material. So we need to be able to procure enough carpet and to transform that carpet into a usable raw material in volume such as to justify the investment.
But now, every time I come here, you've just opened up something new, you've expanded your capacity. You're doing very well in the carpet segment.
Well, don't say it too loud. I mean, yeah, no, but in all honesty, yes, we've been doing good. I mean, fortunately, we never had the problem of how to fill up our capacity. I mean, actually, our capacity has always been always a little short of what we needed. So we have kept investing, but we've never been able to invest as fast as we would have needed. So we're definitely doing good. I mean, we are blessed, we are fortunate. But, on the other side, we're also very committed to this industry. Mm-hmm. And it's not easy to find, at least in the fiber industry, somebody as committed as Aquafil to the BCF, to the carpet industry at least. And you probably remember that some 18 months ago, Aquafil sold the engineering plastic business that we had, and we sold it, or basically we swapped with Domo our engineering plastics versus their BCF carpet fiber business. So at that point, after that change, or after that swap, Aquafil decided that we wanted to concentrate almost exclusively on industry. And at this point, 80%, evidently, I mean, we need to be very careful about what we do in order to stay in business, grow our business, and keep investing, because we don't really have any alternative on the table. I mean, I mentioned before, we still have 20% of our business is fiber for textile application, but 80% is fiber to make carpet. So, I mean, we need to try to be pretty good at that. That's the only real, is the core business, and we have invested, and we are going to invest even more. So that probably justify or explain why we have been able to expand year after year and keep adding things, because it's something that we want to do. Mm-hmm.
Now, tell us about that whole process of expansion. You have a third tower.
Yeah, we have a third tower. We have a third tower that actually has been built to accommodate one more round of expansion. So it has only one side of the tower now is full, has been equipped with machinery. So we still have the other side, which can be used as a base to a next round of expansion. That's what we call the third tower. We have moved pretty much what we have done. I mean, once we acquire the assets from Domo in a plant in Germany, we have decided to reduce the size of that plant and specialize it in some specific kind of yarn, especially white yarn. So we reduced the size, and pretty much half of that plant, half of the assets which were in that plant, has been moved to the U.S., and these are the machines which are now running here in Tower 3. We did that. We also moved several cabling machines from Germany and a few ITSET tunnels, and those are now running at the other location, the one in Friction Drive. That's the address. 101 Friction Drive is the address for the reprocessing plant. We also are going to expand that other facility with an additional 80,000 square feet approximately expansion, building expansion. So we have already signed the contract to build, as an extension to that facility, another 80,000 feet, which will be mainly warehouse, I mean storage. Even if our CFO insists that we need to keep our working capital at a minimum, the industry or the business model that we apply to this industry require a fair amount of working capital, especially inventory. So once, as you remember, I'm sure, David, we have mostly entirely based our model on solution dyed, even if we do a little bit of white, but most of what we do is solution dyed. So we have a very large product range in terms of number of colors and SKUs, and
that's really your thing.
And that's our thing. But
yeah.
to be our thing, we need to support our thing, and so it requires money and it requires space, inventory, very large amount of yarn in order to be able to deliver, at least try to deliver what we promised, which is fast service, customized product, smaller runs, all this kind of thing, and packaged yarn, not just single package, finished, ready to tuft. There's a number of things that are needed in order to achieve that target, and definitely space and working capital is one of those.